Welcome back to A View from the Chair. I am Patrice Jordan Robinson, Chair of your Memphis City Council and the representative for District 3. My goal with this program is to allow all citizens access to the latest information from your city leaders. So today, I've invited Director of our public library as my guest on today, A View from the Chair. So I want you to get comfortable. Let's talk. And I want to introduce you now to Director of Libraries. Her name is Keenon McCloy. Keenon, welcome today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. And I've seen you, this will be my second time today because you were at the Whitehaven Library with us this morning for Memphis Mask Up and Live. And I appreciate you allowing us to celebrate and encourage and inform our community that they need to not just mask up, but wash their hands and stay 6 feet apart. I appreciate you being here with us today. So Keenon, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been with the library system, and just give us a little update of what's going on in the libraries in the city of Memphis.
Well, I've been at the Memphis Public Libraries for about 12 years now. I came in 2008, and this is my 29th year working for the city of Memphis.
So 29 years in one job. Yes. Oh my God. You're dedicated. Go ahead.
I love the city of Memphis so much. So much.
Okay.
I love Memphis. So a lot of exciting things are happening at the libraries. And as you know, we were the first city division that really reopened to the public in phase 1 and phase 2. So we've been pretty busy the entire time. We've also done a ton of virtual programming, and you probably know that the studios, our radio and TV station, have been filming and broadcasting the joint task force for the coronavirus updates so that we can have accurate and up-to-date timely information as it happens. And so we've been really busy with that. We also, as you know, have a great service called 211. Some people think of it as LINK, the Library Information Center. But we receive about 400 calls per day, many which are about coronavirus and other health and human services needs that people are experiencing. They might have food insecurity. They might need utility assistance, mortgage assistance. So many people have had so many issues because of either becoming unemployed or less employed. And so we're really there to make sure that people have to make as few phone calls as possible to actually get the referrals and information and resources that they only have to call once. And so that's one of the services the library provides. We also have a lot of online resources. And a lot of people don't want to leave the house, which is understandable. And they want to keep themselves safe and their family safe. And we do have a lot of online resources. So you can download books if you have access. We are even checking out some mobile hotspots to people because not everybody has access in their homes, and we know that. And you can download magazines, and all of it's for free. And you can take, children's books, any books, 25 books out at any given time. And we are, all of our locations are currently open, except for the next 2 weeks. We're replacing the cooling tower at the Benjamin L. Hook Central Library. And so it's going to be pretty hot for the next week or two. So July 10th, we'll be reopening. So we have a lot of exciting things that are happening at the library.
Okay, I want you to reiterate the 211. And I have a 4-year-old granddaughter. So you're saying that I can get a book online at night and read it to her?
Yes.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Yes, you can. So you have to download the app or go to our website and it'll tell you how to do it. But there's an app called Libby, and it works on any smartphone or computer. And you go to Libby and you search for the book or title that you want, and you can just download it for free right there. And so all you need is your library card, and it'll ask you for a PIN number, which is the last 4 digits of your library card number. But we also are allowing people during this time to just get a library card online without coming in. We aren't checking IDs or anything else. I mean, what we're trying to do is put more books into the hands of more people. And so that's, we're trying to reduce barriers to access instead of creating new, filters for people not to be able to get the resources they need. So that's been really popular, so that people have a 2-year library card without having to even come into our physical locations.
Oh, Keenan, that is so exciting. My library card is probably older than 2 years. So I'm supposed to get a new one every year?
Well, traditionally, we have had people come in every year or two to just verify they still live in the same location. So if we want to send them, or if we want to send them an email saying your book's about to be due, just because then people, that's a great resource. I mean, that's a great way to increase customer service, I guess is what I'd say. So you don't have, you just bring the book back and then you don't have to pay a fine. As you know, because y'all supported this, we have eliminated all fines throughout the library system.
Yes.
And so, we found that children, and particularly people in North and South Memphis, were disproportionately negatively impacted by the fines, because if you had a certain number of books that were overdue, you couldn't check out a book again, which is exactly the opposite of what we're trying to do in our community, because we want to get more hands in the books of more people. So we have made a number of changes, but right now we're just basically continuing on with the library cards and not really worrying about it. It's just, if you've never been in the library, you can get a card and it's good for 2 years without any identification.
So my senior citizens call me and my staff all day long looking for information. So all they have to do is dial 211, and they could
Yes.
even ask questions about if they're being evicted from their homes. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the kind of things that they can call and ask at 211?
Yeah, I mean, utility assistance is a huge demand always, not just right now. The need for, just so many people are food insecure in Memphis and Shelby County. And parenthetically, we do serve not only Memphis, but the entire United Way area. So it is multiple counties, and not even just in Tennessee, but in Arkansas and Mississippi.
Okay.
So it's a really, these kinds of things don't hit by zip code. They hit by, circumstance. And so anyway, we serve a multi-county area. But seniors in particular, there's, we get a lot of requests for everything from food assistance, utility assistance, mortgage assistance, rent assistance, medications, a lot of homeless shelters. A lot of people have had mental health challenges. This has been a really tough time for so many of us. And we always have information. We're a certified Alliance for Information Referral Services. And so none of our information can ever be a year old. So our staff is constantly updating, reading the newspaper, looking at all the notices that come out to see what kind of information we can connect people with that'll help make their lives easier, better, or smoother, because so many people have such great challenges here.
Okay, thank you. I know that my listening and viewing audience will use the 211 line. So, Keenon, public service is so very important, and getting it right is even more important. Our libraries have always been spaces that all citizens are welcome. Tell us about some of the new things that are happening within your division.
Well, this is the most exciting time I've experienced. I have to say, it's phenomenal. So we have 3 branches. You kind of alluded to this in your intro, I think. But we do have the CASET, which is the city's first library, which is being renovated as we speak, and we expect it to reopen in late 2020. So probably around November is what we're guessing. But this is amazingly, it's right on the riverfront. It's a key part of the downtown riverfront strategy. And it's going to be phenomenal. And so it's in the mid-century modern portion of the building, because there was an old red sandstone building that is from the 1800s and 1918. So, so we'll be reopening that. I'll tell you about the things that are inside in a moment. We're also, July 27th, we're going to have substantial completion for an entirely new library, which is the Raleigh Branch Library. And Raleigh, substantial completion is late July 27th. And then it'll probably take us a good 6 weeks to get the FF and the furniture and fixtures in, as well as the IT, the technology. But so we're thinking, by September we should be open, and we're right in the Raleigh Town Center, Raleigh Springs Town Center, and we're not right next to a police precinct and a world-class skate park. It's really going to be it's just a beautiful, beautiful location. It's about 15,800 square feet. The library is, and it's beautiful. It has a meeting room for 100 or 150 people. So it'll be a real community gathering place. And there's a track. I mean, it's a large space where the Raleigh Springs Mall used to be. And then lastly, we're building an entirely new building. We've not finished the plans, but we're pretty close for Fraser. And as you know, the Raleigh Branch Library is small currently. The Fraser Library is tiny. We always have every single chair filled in both of those locations. They're both extremely popular. And so we're really excited. The Fraser Library is actually going to be about 23,000 square feet. So we're really thrilled about this. The three things you'll see or the things you'll see in these three locations are a ton of flexibility, reconfigurable space. We don't know what libraries are going to look like 10 years from now. So everything is meant to be reconfigurable so that it's not, all little rooms. It's open spaces that you can change depending upon when the seniors are there, when the babies are there, the teenagers come in from after school. Different populations have different habits in terms of timing. And if we can have the furniture and the facilities and the equipment to flex with the time, it's going to be wonderful. And just another thing, we have Discover Read centers. These are early childhood literacy centers in almost all of our locations. And those are privately funded through the Library Foundation. And they're just wonderful. People, they're there with the intention of having caregivers interact with and talk about things that are different than perhaps people have in their own homes. And it gives them more words to use, more colors, more descriptions. And it's really about talk, touch, sing, read, play, engaging the children so that they know that literacy is so important. Just fun ways to make that happen.
Okay. So, Keenon, the COVID-19 pandemic has presented so many challenges to not just the citizens of Memphis, but our businesses and as well as the libraries. So now that we have gone back to some new hours in the library, what should we be expecting over the next 2 to 4 weeks?
So all the locations except for the Ben Hooks Central Library for the next 2 weeks are open 10 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Normally we have a little longer hours, but with the social distancing and the separation and the masks, not as many people, we're spreading it out, and we've removed some of the seating so that not as many people are able to be in there at the same time. But so we're doing Monday through Friday, 10 to 6. Ben Hooks is closed from today through July 10th. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be replacing that cooling tower. So, and then subsequent to that, as long as we're in phase 2 or thereabouts, we will be open 5 days a week from 10 to 6 after the July 10th. And, when we go to phase 3, we'll be open longer hours as well. So, it's a matter of just kind of following the trends that the health department is kind of creating for us, and the joint task force is informing us about.
So do you have any intent on working with Shelby County Schools as they open back up and provide electronic means of training and teaching their students? Are we plugging in and providing any assistance?
We have been partnering with Shelby County Schools for some years, and honestly, we've been able to do a whole lot with them. There's so much in flux right now that I think that we need to figure out what all it is we can do that is most effective together. And so we're working on that as we speak.
Okay. So I think one of the things that we can share with them right now that their students can download books and start reading books right now.
And
Do
in
you
magazines.
okay, magazines as well? You don't even have
Yeah.
to buy a subscription?
No,
That's that's
no,
awesome.
they're very popular. They're very, very popular. Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have things like, this isn't as much for school students, but college students certainly and but beyond. But we do have Lynda.com, which is, technical training. And so all of these things are free, and they normally are pretty expensive monthly subscription fees, and we provide them for free to the public.
Okay, so what is Lynda.com?
Lynda.com, if you want to find out how to use PowerPoint, you don't know how to use Excel, you want to design a website, whatever it might be, there is detailed instruction for any kind of thing that's totally current, any version of software you can possibly imagine, and you take courses, and it's just you do it in at your own home on one of our computers. We still have so many people don't have access to computers in their own homes, so yes, people can come to the library and download these things and practice with them on any of our computers throughout the library system as well.
Okay. So I know a lot of people have cell phones and they can download books on cell phones now as well. So
Yes.
are our libraries tied to any other libraries nationally, or are we just our own little system?
We work really closely with Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga libraries because we're
Mhm.
kind of the four metropolitan area library systems in the state of Tennessee. So we work really close with the Tennessee State Library and Archives and the Secretary of State's office. And so we do that. We also, one of the things that I've really enjoyed, we work with the Urban Libraries Council, and that's the 180 largest urban libraries in the nation and in North
Mhm.
America, actually. So even Canada as well. And we've had people, the directors of Seattle, of San Francisco, of Cleveland, of Atlanta, of pretty much, I don't know, about 10 different library directors have come, and every day, one day a year, we close all the libraries for staff development so that a person who shelves books or a person who delivers books or a person who's like
Mhm.
one of the senior managers, everybody gets to be the same and hear the same information about the most trend-setting libraries in the nation. And so we've just had really amazing people. The director of the LA Public Library has been here. They've all come. And then we go to all of their, not all of their libraries, but as often as we can, we get to one of theirs because they really bring us different ideas. They have completely different reflections of library services than we do. I mean, we have a lot in common, but also you can learn a whole lot. So we do webinars together. We've had them come and consult with us, streamline our policies and procedures to simplify things so that the customer experience is the most positive it can possibly be. And if we have rules that are in place that really, are not like life or death, we want to make it as simple as possible and as accessible as possible, particularly for the people who have the greatest barriers to access.
So you're actually using them to do some benchmarking and provide better service. So at any time, if you needed a book that we didn't have in our collection, do they share books with you?
There is actually a statewide interlibrary loan program called Firefly. At any rate, books do move around the state. We lend them to them, and they lend them to us within the state of Tennessee. There are some coalitions that do, sort of beyond, but we've had very good success with the ones throughout the state of Tennessee.
Okay. So will there be any more intentional designs of new libraries like the new Cosset downtown, one that we're building out in Raleigh? Do we have any other plans?
Well, selfishly, we're just really grateful that we got these three exciting locations, either new or so. I'm feeling pretty grateful today. But one of the things we've been doing is focusing on. We have some small libraries, and you don't have to have the largest library to have a lot of great service. But what we're trying to do is make each of these destination worthy. And for instance, the Raleigh, besides having the biggest meeting room basically within the system, they also have a family lab, which is intergenerational. We have a place called Cloud 901 in the Benjamin L. Hooks Central Library, as you know, and that's been extremely popular. It's for 13 to 18-year-olds. And a lot of people always say, why do only teenagers get to use the space? And we were really intentional about it. We wanted a space that was their own, because teens are in the middle of, childhood and adulthood in many ways. And we thought it was really important to preserve a space just for them. And, at the same time, almost every other library said, can we get a Cloud 901? So we have an audio engineer in Cloud 901. We have a video production lab. Students that were creating a video in there won a contest from Toyota for $15,000. So part of a lot of this is actually as a national contest. A lot of it is about economic development, workforce development, STEAM disciplines, trying to get people to have access to professional equipment, because a lot of libraries were doing things that are kind of exposing youths. And we thought, what? We don't want to just expose them. We want to go pro. So, we've got really exceptionally great staff. We do a lot of makers. We have 3D printing. We have, an art studio. I think messy art is important too, not just technology. And so we've got a lot of different options. In the CASA, you're going to see, recording studios. There's going to be a lot of oral history. We have that in the Memphis room as well. We're doing mobile services. We have a van that goes throughout the community to different festivals and different branches and, shopping centers and things like that. And so, Fraser is the most, it's pretty wide open, has very few walls. There will be meeting rooms, of course, but it'll have a lot that reflects the Fraser community, because we want the branches to reflect the communities they serve. So everything is different. It's not a one size fits all. There's not a Cloud 901 in every place, but we are definitely moving into the technology STEAM like fast and furiously. So we're doing a whole lot in that space.
Well, I want to take this moment just to say thank you to you for the Whitehaven Library. It is beautiful. We have a lot of people using it every day. And since I have been on the council, we have a new driveway. Thank you that we're not stuck in that drive.
And you're part of our success. I got to hand it to you. You're always encouraging, and we really appreciate it. Sometimes, other people see things we don't see. And so making that change actually made a big difference in a positive way. So thank you.
You're quite welcome. So talk to us a little bit about your diverse programming and what you do on the radio. And I appreciate the neighbor talk that we have for the council on your library channel. Talk to us about those different diverse programming opportunities.
So we have WYPL, your public library. WYPL TV 18 and FM 89.3. We've actually started reading children's books in the mornings at 7 a.m. But we do have, people reading the news. A lot of people don't get the Commercial Appeal or the Daily Memphian or whatever. So we read the news. We also simulcast the NBC News, Channel 5, NBC, and WMC, and also the NBC Nightly News. And we have really extensive collections of Memphis music, either something that's by a Memphian or was recorded in Memphis or performed in Memphis or whatever. And so nightly we have music, lots of different kinds and styles. So those are really great. On the TV station, we have a lot of community interest shows. We do love working with the city council because, sometimes people call in and sometimes, they're just, y'all are projecting information or talking about different resources that are available or initiatives that the council has. And we've increased I don't know the exact percentage right now, but it's more than quadruple the number of people, give or take COVID moment. More than 4 times the number of people who were about 5 years ago attending programs, 4 times more are attending them now. And so we've really increased. I mean, we are hugely focused on programming. We have a lot of early childhood literacy. We have a lot of STEAM activities. We have adult story times for people, especially with special abilities. We have a lot of things related to genealogy and seniors, and we have seed banks. You can bring seeds, leave seeds, learn to plant. We're really into food literacy, health literacy. So we're trying to. We had an initiative called All of Us, and it's really about getting better health, which was funded by the National Library of Medicine. And we were one of a handful of libraries in the nation that got this exhibit, and it was really, really popular, particularly for people of color to promote awareness about the importance of different kinds of health information. And so we do, and then teens and tweens, we've really expanded our tween programming, because as soon as we really built out the teen services and the teen innovations like we have in some of our locations, once you build out teens, and all of a sudden it's like, wait, tweens are actually the ones in the middle. So, we've been trying to do as much as we can to support the diverse and market to the diverse populations, because definitely libraries are not one size fits all. They really do reflect their communities. They have different patterns, and so we just want to make sure that we meet people where they are, and whatever it is. We raise a lot of money through the Memphis Library Foundation, and they are in partnership with the Memphis Library Foundation and the Friends of the Library. We have it was 500 about a couple of years ago, but members of the Friends of the Library. And then the Library Foundation was created to help build the Ben Hook Central Library. And so they raised about $26 million to contribute. They ended up spending 21.7 of it. The city and the county spent 40 million total. And so we wouldn't be a world-class library were it not for those private, angels that donated to make it world-class instead of good enough, And we've been, really inspired by that. And Cloud 901 is an example. We really doubled down on the quality and the scale of the stuff. And we've had people come from across the country just to look at Cloud 901, to talk with our staff.
Tell us what 901, so the parents will know what you're talking about, and how the students actually can participate in all of the radio and television programming.
So, yes. So we have a video production lab, and in there, we have a green screen, and you can film whatever you want in there. We have professional equipment, so that it's not just like a little tiny system. It's fully built out. It's really professional, and it's really it's an excellent place. The recording studio, we worked with Boo Mitchell actually, and some other folks in Ben Jonas to make it a proper recording studio. Originally, we were just going to have, there were some libraries that had a little tiny thing, and you could carry it around with you. And we thought, Memphis, we wanted to go Cloud 901. We wanted to reflect the Memphis brand and the Memphis attributes in our culture and our texture. So it's an amazing recording studio. It really is. And so we're really proud of it, and the products that the teens have made. I mean, they've been incredible. You really should listen to it. So if any of you out there, parents or otherwise, want to make a recording, know more about the music business, know about audio engineering, Cloud 901 is the place. We also have graphic design. We have tons of software, every Adobe thing you could imagine. And so that you can really become a professional, marketing, communications person in terms of graphic design. And it's a really wonderful place. We do have a performance space there, and that is connected also to the recording studio and the video production lab. Like I said, you can build sculptures, you can paint, You can draw. There's just a really wide. We do coding. You can do pretty much anything that has to do with either the STEAM disciplines or the old school. The ones that you rely on solely your imagination. So it's pretty amazing because so many schools have had to cut arts education, and they don't have. And the library just has the ability to connect with people in ways that schools don't always have the luxury of. Because there's so many requirements of teachers and students. That we are kind of a special place that can really ignite passion for lifelong learning, because we get to do things the way the teens want them to do it, or the children want to do it, not the way that it's prescribed only. So it's a really nurturing, beautiful place, and so I'd love for any of y'all to come. And we will have more and more labs, not the scale, because the Cloud 901 is about 10,000 square feet. It's big. It's as big as some libraries and bigger, really. But most you're seeing a little bit of this with a lot of them.
Okay. So I cannot let you get away today without sharing with us what's going on this summer in the libraries. What are the summer programming for young people?
I don't know what just happened, but I think you kind of timed out or something. Is that possible?
You can't hear me? No.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay, well then I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, so what was the question?
So what's going on this summer? I can't let you get away without telling us, do you have any special programs for youth this summer? Because it looks like they may have an extended summer. We don't know what it's going to look like because of the pandemic.
Well, we have mostly virtual programming, and we have several programs, virtual programs every day. We have, story times at 11. We have, lots of different virtual programs that could be teaching you how to. We're programming everything we could possibly think about. Could think of. So traditionally we have Explore Memphis, and we're trying to get people to keep records of the amount of time or the number of books they've read. And so that's kind of good. We have a lot of prizes. We always have prizes and incentives. But this year, because it's largely virtual, it is different. But if you go to memphislibrary.org/explore Memphis, you can see, all the programs, and you can see that there are several every single day, and they're really creative. Our staff has been wonderful, and a lot of people have learned a lot of new skills, or developed a lot of new skills because of coronavirus. But everybody is really committed to staying in touch with the community. So if y'all have any ideas, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to do anything we can, or develop programs on subjects of interest. And we're trying to be really timely, but just, take a look. And you can look at our calendar if you go to memphislibraries.org, and you can see what programs there are. But you can also search by, I want North Branch, I want, South Branch, I want, whatever branch it is. You can search by teens, like what's happening for teens. You can search by tweens. You can search by seniors. And so, we're trying to kind of curate the calendar and the descriptions so that, you can get right to what you want, instead of having to look through a million different program titles, so that you can just get to what you want to see the most quickly. So we're trying to really build out the virtual programs, and we're continuing to do that through Explore Memphis. TVA is our sponsor for that. And so far, it's been really, really popular.
Oh, that's exciting. TVA is your sponsor?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So,
yes, they fully funded the summer. It's what we used to call a summer reading program, and now it's beyond reading. It's it's much more engaging. But they did fund. They did fully fund it.
So they have some educational material around
Library
energy.
Foundation.
Okay, they have information that they've put together around energy and comics and that kind of thing for young people. Have they shared that with you so that you can share that with children in our community?
Yes, they have been. We have had a lot of programs over time. I don't know about that in this summer program right now, but we do have an ongoing relationship with them to do just that.
Okay, thank you. So
So
we're
important.
about to close out this show today. I really appreciate you coming on board and being willing to share of what's going on in the library. And it sounds like it's really exciting. We have new libraries coming on board. We have updates at the library. We've got new programming. We have things for adults, our senior citizens. We've got computers in the library, and you can get a mask at the library. Make sure you remember Memphis, mask up and live. You can get one, whatever you need for your family right there in your own local library. So, Keenan, do you have any closing thoughts or information you'd like to share with us today before we close out?
Well, I just want to thank you for having us on the show so that we could share a little bit of information, or I could share a little information about what's happening in the library. Because so often people say, well, with Google, who needs a library anymore, you know? And we think that the fact that our program attendance is up so much over the past 5 years is a really great indication that we're trying to provide information or bring people the information that they really need, that's most useful to them, that's most exciting for them, that helps them move forward, to whatever the next step in their lives they want to go to. So if you haven't been to the library, please come back, because it's not the library you grew up in. So we're not going to shush people. We don't really do that anymore. We want to engage with our community. We want to hear from everyone, and whatever it is, whatever your ideas are, share them with our staff, and they are extremely responsive and really want to serve Memphians as best we possibly can.
So, for our citizens that are 65 and older, do we have classes to teach them how to use this new Zoom technology and how to use a computer and send emails, and how to use FaceTime and any of the media that's out there now, and they don't feel intimidated?
So we see, there are all these things that we haven't even talked about, like Job Link. It's a mobile job and career center that goes around town. But we have, one of the things we figured out, so many people are looking for jobs. And so we started, public computer classes, mostly because everybody needed help developing a resume. And a lot of people didn't have email addresses, and they didn't know how to search online for whatever kind of job it was they were interested in, because it's kind of overwhelming if you're not a techie person, or maybe, we have classes for bring your own device. Let's say your granddaughter gives you, a, Kindle so that you can do whatever, you can listen to books, and you don't have any idea how to start with it, or you want to read, you want to get pictures of your grandchildren and you don't even know how to open them up or save them on your computer. We have classes for all of that. So we have many classes in the year, and a lot of the people who go to those classes are definitely seniors who just want to kind of catch up with what their kids are doing, or other people are talking about, so we have a lot of different classes. I mean, we do have PowerPoint and Excel and Word and things like that, and internet, and a lot of people might not know how to minimize the screen, or how to create a slide deck of PowerPoint or something. So we do have a wide range of those kinds of classes, that are really starting at the beginning, and some that are more advanced, but a lot at the beginning, because a lot of people are just not as familiar with technology.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got a lot of that.
So again, I want to thank Keenon. I really appreciate you. This is Keenon McCloy with the Division Director for our Memphis Public Libraries. And I want to thank you again for being with us today and sharing with us and the citizens of this great city the very important role that our libraries play in our community. Well, we'll be back with more from A View from the Chair next time. I'm Patrice Jordan Robinson, your council chairwoman and the District 3 representative. Stay safe, stay well, and mask up.
Thank you so much for having me.